right, YouTube. Welcome back. And I'm kind of excited because in the first time in a long time, I'm getting to play a game that actually I haven't seen anything, I haven't read any reviews, haven't watched any previous YouTube content. I mean, which would be pretty hard considering it's only had a demo so far. I didn't play the demo, so I'm going into this game completely blind. Um, I just wanted to leave this up because there is some photosensitivity. There's a little bit of content warning, but I think it'll all be fine. And obviously, it's a work of fiction. Today, we are playing Ashes of the Damned, the Forgotten Lord. Let's see. Let's turn this down just a smidge, because I don't want it to be like insanely loud. Double check all the graphics. We'll go ahead and max out that. We don't need to be running 600 frames a second. I think it'll be fine. Okay. Alright. Saving is unavailable. Progress is lost when exiting and returning to the main menu. So we're doing this in one playthrough. Wonderful. I don't know anything about this game. I don't know if there's any other related games. But here we go.
What is this place? Where am I? Why does this place feel so familiar? I need to understand what happened here. Maybe if I look around, I'll remember.
It's usually what I have to do too. Whoa-wee. Holy sensitivity. Hold on. Is there no sensitivity control? Oh, here we go. Let's go ahead and turn that down just a touch. Jeez. Still. Oh, it basically goes off the bar. Ah, here we go. Much better. As long as I don't need to 360 no scope somebody, I think we'll be fine. Actually be a little bit too much. So, our objectives: explore the Forgotten Ward, search the asylum for clues, find the patient files, use spirit vision to uncover hidden puzzle pieces, discover the truth behind the Forgotten Ward. Optional: find hidden collectibles, uncover the stories behind the collected items. Okay, I think I am actually going to turn my sensitivity up just one touch here. It's better. Okay. Try not to be too crazy jerky with it. Why does this look like I could pick it up? I can't crouch. Oh, we have a flashlight? We have a map? Oh, boy. Okay. What? What is this? I don't know what that is. Dirty? Archive. Some jars. Ooh-wee. A little bit of a stutter there. That was strange. Walter Cray. Evaluation. Refuses eye contact, staring into empty space as if speaking to an imagined family, highly distressed when their absence is pointed out. His deep attachment to these hallucinations make his mind vulnerable to recalibration. Begin controlled electrical realignment. Repeat high-intensity shocks to sever his delusional constructs. Whatever this medicine is, it's everywhere. So we walk fairly fast, but we apparently just tells me everything that we can pick up. Clara Whitcomb. Evaluation: extremely withdrawn and non-responsive, distressed by human proximity but steadies in complete isolation. Contact agitates her. Absence corrects her. She exhibits a dangerous dependence on isolation. Action: transfer to extended solitary confinement. Enforce total sensory deprivation till she responds. You know, sometimes a little solidarity is never a bad thing. Should we do this right? Oh, that's pretty normal.
These weren't ordinary baths.
Oh, you don't
What were
say.
they doing to the patients in here?
You don't say. Yuck. I'm one of the patients. I just don't remember anything. It's basically Shutter Island. The elevator's broken.
Would you come play with me?
No. Oh, hello. Oh, that's pretty normal, right? What in the world? Now that we're playing, though, I think I'm actually going to turn the master volume up just a little bit. Hopefully make the scares a little scarier. Spooky.
So many beds. How many patients were kept in this room?
I need to turn off my Steam notifications, but it'll be okay. Ooh, a green. Alright, know what we're gonna do is, how do I disable notifications? Hmm. I don't know how to turn this off. Settings. I don't know. Well, I guess. Okay. Continuing on. Ooh, a collectible. Can I get rid of this tutorial? Like, I don't need all this. I turn this down a little bit. Ooh, a red. Confidential. Me next. No, I might be next. Oh. Hello? Can I help you? Oh. Go to the book on the desk.
Walter Cray, patient card 001. They said he suffered from emotional dysregulation and delusional regression tendencies. But what they really meant was grief. Uncontained, inconvenient, and unwanted. He was too late. A mother and child, all he had left, devoured by flame. He reached, but fate had already shut the door. They didn't see a man mourning. They saw a threat.
Oh, sorry.
They didn't see a man mourning. They saw a threat. A priest signed the form. 2 orderlies dragged him down that hallway like a rabid animal. That was the moment Walter stopped being human. To them. The doctor called it therapy. Gloved hands, cold paddles. No words, no consent. Just a checkbox to tick and a schedule to keep.
A schedule, huh?
Electricity tore through him, muscle locking, mind unraveling. Each jolt meant to erase, not heal. They didn't want the pain gone. They wanted the memory destroyed. His body gave out first, then his name, then everything else. The doctor wrote neurochemical collapse, but what he meant was we broke him. They wheeled him out like laundry. No ceremony, no remorse. Just shadows and silence. But something stayed behind. A locket, scorched but intact. A soul tied to sorrow. And in the dark, something else remembered.
Okay. The chair was moved out, so I couldn't do anything. Now we do this again? Or do all the doors that I open stay open? Seems to be that way? So is this basically like a horror roguelike? Where I die and then relive it again? That's what it seems. Let's stay on this floor first. We'll go. Hope there's more. County Asylum expansion approved. Local officials approve funding for a new wing to address rising emissions and overcrowding. Judge Newkirk praised staff for maintaining order under challenging circumstances and called recent policy changes forward thinking. Despite public concern over delays, officials insist all patients are handled with appropriate supervision. Okay, can't take it. No more pages. Okay. I think that's a lie. At least from what we've seen from our first guy. Wouldn't call that appropriate supervision by any means. This is where I found him? Yeah, okay. So you come back here and then he's not here anymore. Let's go this way. Oh, did I just see? I swear I just saw something moving downstairs. Oops, wrong button. Agatha Crow. Evaluation. Unwavering composure. Shows no hesitation during high distress procedures. She views authority as an absolute certainty and obeys without question. Extremely susceptible to influence. Recommendation. Promote to advanced procedures in the volatile wards. Her blind compliance makes her an ideal asset. She's a yes woman. Oh, you got me there. You actually got me to jump on that one. It was just a wheelchair. The guy falling down was just too, like, choreographed. A fork? Iframe. Oh. What do we have here? Okay, we already read that. That was his whole story. Oh, a creepy doll. Oh, you can hit remember on these, okay. Creepy doll. A small wooden doll dressed in a nurse's uniform stitched from an old ward linen. Its eyes are dark shirt buttons, with two more sewn into the cheeks to fix its face into a calm, beating expression. The uniform is stained with old blood. Every seam has been pulled tight, leaving the little body stiff and unnatural. A faded label is sewn into the back of the dress. Good nurses keep order. Oh. goodness gracious.
I made her during night duty. The ward was quiet then, quieter than it ever was in the day. No visitors, no inspections, no one asking questions they had no right to ask. There was an old wooden doll in the storage cupboard, missing its face. I gave her a nurse's dress from spare ward linen and stitched it tight so it would sit properly. The eyes were buttons from a dress shirt, the cheeks too. I thought they gave her a pleasant look. Calm. Composed. A nurse should look composed. Patients watch for weakness. They hear it in your voice. They see it in your hands. If you hesitate, they become difficult. If you pity them, they become worse. Dr. Thorne understood that. He said I had steady hands. He said I could be trusted with procedures others found upsetting. I remember feeling proud of that. Proud that he did not have to repeat himself. Proud that I could do what was necessary without making a scene. The doll was white once. Her dress. Her little arms. Even the buttons. I tried to clean her after the first stain. Then after the second. After a while, I stopped trying. Some marks are not dirt. Some marks are proof that work has been done. She sat on my desk and watched over the reports. Silent. Neat. Obedient. The patients called me cruel. They were wrong. Cruelty is disorder. Cruelty is emotion. Cruelty is losing control. I kept control. I kept the ward quiet. Good nurses keep order, even when order leaves blood behind. Agatha Crowell.
Well, it fits that we just saw her picture, and if you're wondering what I was doing, the angular rotation axis for this is very strange. I thought they said there was a label on her back, but I couldn't see it. So that's why I was spinning her around. But as you can see, it's not the easiest to control. Anyway. A heartbeat now. Collectibles collected 2 of 6. Patient files collected 1 of 4. A bent fork. Oh my goodness.
I knew the sound of a kitchen before I knew the sound of this place. Pans knocking against iron, water boiling, bread trays sliding from the oven, men shouting for plates they would not wash themselves. I was a kitchen porter. I scrubbed what others left behind, carried sacks until my back burned, and went home smelling of grease, soap, and flour. It was hard work, but it was honest. A man could be tired and still be himself. Here they took even that from me. They said I thought too much about food. They said I watched the cupboards. They said asking was a symptom and crying was proof. I tried to tell them a body makes noise when it is empty. It aches. It shakes. It forgets pride before it forgets hunger. They did not listen. This fork was never meant to hurt anyone. I kept it because it was small enough to hide and ordinary enough to be ignored. For a while, that made it mine. I held it under the table when the trays passed by. I pressed it into my palm when they read from the chart. I gripped it so hard some nights that the metal bent before my hand let go. The doctor called that evidence. Evidence of fixation, evidence of poor control, evidence that the regimen must continue. But it was only a fork, a cheap bit of metal from a kitchen that had more food than mercy. If you found it, then maybe something of me stayed behind after all. Not the report, not the diagnosis, not the lies they wrote to make themselves clean. Just this. Hold it for a moment. Feel how it twisted. Then ask yourself what kind of hunger makes metal give way. Edwin Marsh.
My heart is pounding. Wow. That's a lot of potatoes and a big knife. I feel like they wouldn't leave these sharp objects out in a place like this, but who knows? I mean, if they're giving out lobotomies like it's Christmas morning, then maybe they would. Uh-oh, this is total death here. Way too predictable. Run! Oh. So I found that you can turn these off. If I read earlier, I don't have the glasses. I don't need to see the options.
Patient card 003. Edwin Marsh. Male, age 36. Former kitchen porter. Admitted after repeated incidents of food concealment and violent distress during meal service. Initial notes record persistent requests for bread, refusal to accept prescribed portions, and agitation when food was removed. Diagnosis entered: compulsive appetite dependency with defiant food-seeking behavior. Meal service ended at 6. The trays were counted, the cupboards locked. Edwin Marsh was found on the kitchen floor with a crust of bread in his hand. Not a stolen meal. Not enough to fill the mouth, but enough for them to write down the word theft. By morning, the crust had become evidence. The report described Edwin Marsh as deceitful, calculating, and unwilling to accept correction. He told them he was hungry. They wrote that he was fixated. He said he had not eaten enough. They wrote that he was attempting to manipulate staff. By the end of the interview, the bread was no longer bread. It was proof of disorder. The following day, Edwin Marsh was placed under dietary supervision. Not at the table, not in the kitchen, in restraints. Staff were instructed to record every request for food as fixation, every complaint as defiance, every cry as evidence that correction was still required. His portions were reduced, his water measured, his body observed like a chart that refused to improve. They called it treatment. They called it discipline. But Edwin understood it plainly. They had made hunger into a room he could not leave. Edwin Marsh did not improve. His weight continued to fall. His pulse weakened. His voice, once constant with pleading, grew thin, then absent altogether. The staff record does not describe starvation. It describes non-compliance. It states that the patient refused correction, resisted dietary control, and deteriorated under observation. By the time his body gave out, there was almost nothing left of him but bone, skin, and breath. And when even that failed, they did not write that hunger had killed him. They wrote that Edwin Marsh had refused to recover. When Edwin Marsh died, the ward did not stop. The kitchen opened the next morning. The trays were counted, the cupboards locked. The report was filed before the floor was dry. Cause of decline: refusal of dietary correction. Cause of death: failure to respond to treatment. There was no mention of the smell of bread, no mention of the locked cupboards, no mention of the nights he begged from a room away. Only the fork remained, bent out of shape on the table. A small thing, cheap metal, 4 dull prongs. But it held more truth than every page they wrote.
Edwin Marsh did not refuse treatment. He was denied mercy.
That's confession number 3. Oh. So. Poor guy. Starved to death. Why does it still show this? Okay, apparently that doesn't go away.
I can hear your heartbeat.
Hello? Where did that come from? There's nothing even there. That's pretty cool. Here we got another picture. Those are some cool pens, like ink whittle pens. Another desk. Who do we got now? Henry Grossman. Patient Henry Grossman. Honestly, before I read this, I thought he was going to end up being another patient. Or not a patient, but I thought he was going to be like a doctor, just from his look. Notes. Highly resistant. Constantly challenges authority in hospital procedures with dangerous clarity. His paranoid looping risks corrupting other patients in the ward. Action immediate intervention required. Scheduled for transorbital lobotomy. Oof. Basically turned him into a zombie. We'll just keep going here. This is another confidential record, but nothing in here. Got some chemistry going on. I don't know enough chemistry. Some more sacks of potatoes. All the light glaring off the window definitely makes it look like there's faces looking in at you. Rope. Wow, they really like their potatoes. Okay, let's finish down here. Because then I think we can make our way to the 3rd floor. Oh, there's a creepy basement. Well, that looks like a bone saw to me. I wonder what they use those for. Beauty... Butte? No, beauty something. I'm gonna guess it probably didn't work. Ye old canteen, huh? Oh, it's on this guy. Is there anything else in here that I didn't see? I don't think so. Oops. Open the door a little bit. Stairwell's blocked to the outside. I guess we're going up. Let's see. Did I miss? Why is my map? What on earth? I know I've left like all through here. Does it restart every time? There's no way. I think it does. Well, that's kind kind of silly. Why on earth would they make the map? It also didn't fill in like some of the other areas. What the heck? Wow, you really have to basically walk exactly over it to get it to reveal. I will say that's kind of annoying, but maybe there's a purpose behind it. So I've definitely been in all these rooms. Okay, well, I'm not doing that, so we're just gonna go upstairs. There's a no. Oh. Wow. Beautiful outside. You know, somebody should tell maintenance WD-40 goes a long ways. There's another fork. There's a lot of envelopes, sealed envelopes around here too. Wonder where that came from. See what I mean? I told you. You shouldn't be keeping those things out. You never know who would get their hand on. Hey, it's this guy. Patient, Edwin Marsh. Apologies. Evaluation. Fixated on food, but aggressively denies hunger. Views starvation as a form of moral discipline and restraint. Highly fragile. Suggestible and easily manipulated through controlled denial. Action. Initiate nutritional correction program. Enforce strict rationing and systematic removal of comfort. We're basically seeing the story from both sides. Let's see what we got. So we already read his. Oh, no, we did not. Okay, so let me read these. Walter Cray. Walter Cray was a former coal miner admitted after repeatedly returning to the burned remains of his home, insisting the house remembered his wife and daughter. No remains were ever found. He carried a scorched silver locket said to belong to his daughter, Margaret. Walter died during his 5th electroconvulsive procedure. The locket was recovered intact and placed into storage. Edwin Marsh was a British kitchen porter from East London, admitted after being accused of stealing food and hiding scraps inside his clothes. He claimed the food was not for himself, but for patients who were being denied meals as punishment. Ashford recorded his condition as compulsive appetite dependency with defiant food-seeking behavior. His hunger was treated as disorder, and his meals were restricted under Lucian Thorne's supervision. Edwin died in 1954 from cardiac failure, following documented refusal of nourishment. A bent metal fork was later recovered among his effects. Oops. Hands in the wrong spot.
I can smell your fear. You are close, aren't you?
No. Oh, she disappeared. I was totally expecting death there. It appears the only time I die is when I find one of those envelopes. Another office. Oh, what's this? Oh, here we go. Dr. Lucian Thorne. Staff file. Dr. Lucian Thorne. Role, lead physician, experimental methods. Methodical and unyielding, spearheaded controversial procedures to force compliance in persistent delusional states. Status, unsettlingly, try that again. Unsettlingly calm under extreme conditions. His personal journals are missing from official archives. One of these days I'll learn how to read. Well, these are actual bathrooms. A little upgrade from the lower floors. A hefty book. Got nothing? So apparently at some point we find some super special glasses. Pieces collected, 0 of 9. Is there any reason to not have them on?
These chairs were arranged for an audience.
Ooh.
They turned suffering into a lesson.
There's no crouching, right? Crouch down and look at that. What in the world did they do here? Probably something not so nice. So now we're gonna have to backtrack to all the other... Ooh. It's a safe. Okay, so I got the glasses. Ooh.
I was a lecturer once. Every morning I stood at the front of a hall filled with students, glasses sliding down my nose as I wrote too quickly on the board. They laughed when I stopped to clean the lenses, smudged with chalk. I laughed with them. For a while it felt ordinary. Then the words stopped making sense. I repeated myself, lost track of the lesson, saw a pattern in sentences no one else could follow. They called it madness. Maybe it was. All I know is the students stopped laughing. They stopped looking me in the eye at all. When they sent me here, the orderlies took everything. My coat, my papers, even the notes that still made sense. I kept these glasses hidden, because without them, I wasn't myself anymore. If you found them, hold them up. You won't see what I saw, but you might understand what it's like to lose everything that told you who you were. Henry Grossman.
Neat. Oh. Oh, press enter. Oh. Okay, so I can do it like this. And then enter. Okay. So I don't even need to go in a certain order. It's not like, oh. Find the glasses and solve the puzzle. Okay. I found the glasses. My heart's beating again. I found one piece of the puzzle, but... Ooh, what's up here? It's more creepies. I would hope that every time if I like die and restart, that I get to keep everything I've found so far. There's no guarantee. And I've kept all the other collectibles, so I don't see why the glasses wouldn't stay. Bunch of archive boxes. Ooh. What do they got some fine wine here for? It's gotta be for the staff, right? Well, we're not gonna grab that yet, because I don't wanna... I'm not sure if that's one of the ones that will kill me or not, but I don't think so. Okay. We'll go ahead and give her a go since I'm here anyway. Oh. Added to the inventory. We'll go ahead.
I do not remember when they first brought the jacket. Only the sound of it, canvas dragged across the floor, buckles clicking open. A nurse telling me not to make this harder. I tried to lift my hands, not to strike them, not to fight, only to show them I was still there, that I understood, that I was afraid. They took that for resistance. The sleeves crossed over me like they were folding away a person. One strap, then another, then another. Each one pulled tighter until my own arms no longer felt like mine. I used to mend cloth for a living. Sheets, uniforms, ward linen, things torn by people who were never named. I knew the feel of fabric. I knew what it meant to repair something. This was not repair. This was how they made a woman easier to leave in a room. After a while, I stopped trying to speak. Not because I had nothing to say, because every word died somewhere behind my teeth, and nobody waited long enough to hear it. So I scratched instead. The walls, the door, the inside of the sleeves where my fingers could barely reach. They will tell you I was quiet. I was not quiet. I was unanswered. Clara Whitcomb.
Spooky. Thanks for your entry, Clara. Alright, let's see if we can find some more puzzle pieces here. Doesn't seem to be any up here. I think I already went over here. And they flash like bright red, so should be pretty easy to see, you would at least think, right? I guess back down the stairs. There's even another flight of stairs? Might as well keep going up. Secret smoking and drinking spot. And more stairs. How big is this place? Are we going up into like the bell tower? Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, and it just definitely should be like a, you know, a sign saying pointless. My luck is I looked right at it and there was something actually up there that I needed. The elevator work, that'd be just too easy, right? I'm gonna have to go back there and check every room for glowing red dots. Oh, see, there's one. And another one. I'm on a roll. I know eventually we gotta visit the basement. I don't see anything in here. I have 4 of the 6 collectibles and 2 of the 4 patient files. Patient files are the ones that kill me, actually. We already read this. No flashing dots. Did I... Why on earth do I not have any map? Does it, like, fade away as I walk? Like, what the heck? It's really annoying. Because I know I just walked through there. I guess we'll just... Oh, I see one down there. There's got to be some on this floor too, I'd imagine. Ooh, got him. Just a random flashing square with nothing on it. already read this? Yeah. So nothing here. Stairwell. Nothing there. If I end up picking something up and dying and not... then it doesn't save the puzzle pieces. Ugh. Frustration level 1 million. Oh. I already read his. We read that. Okay, to the main floor, I guess. We have yet to venture into the basement. It's coming, though. Nothing in there. Honestly figured for a bigger room there'd be one like tucked in here somewhere or something. Oh, a silver medallion. Very nice. Okay, there's another collectible. That looks odd. Looks like manure, but alright, so let's go ahead and listen to his memory.
Some things survived the fire. For me, it was this locket. Clara wore it every day, even when she was mad at me. Inside are the only two photos that mattered. Hers and Margaret's. My girl's. I used to think the chain would snap the way Margaret tugged at it, giggling. "Don't lose us, Daddy." It always held. After the flames, nobody believed me. They said there was no family, no record, just my word against the smoke, the ruin. I searched through ash until my hands bled. All I found was this, still shut, still holding on. Some days, I wonder if the memories are slipping. If maybe they're right and I just made it all up to fill the silence, but when I hold the locket, it feels real. They feel real. The doctor called it fixation. He said a man who can't let go is a danger to himself. Maybe he's right. But what else are you supposed to do when everyone you love is gone, and you're the only one who remembers? If you're reading this, maybe you understand. If you don't, just hold on to what matters. Harder than you think you should. Because when it's gone, all that's left is memory. And sometimes, a little silver locket. Walter Cray.
The crazy part is there's a B and an H initialed into it, which does not match any of their initials. So, was he really crazy? Okay, 6. I know 7. Henry Grossman, and we found his articles already. It's always the last one that's a pain, right? I'm under the bold assumption that it's probably in the basement. Oh, you can't get to the basement from here, so... just feel like that's a terrible move to go under the elevator. Spooky. Add it. Oh, flip through the door. If you notice, I decided to not open the. Oh, I cannot remember this yet. I need more patient miles. Interesting. Oh, that's a death. That was more scary than most of the things that have happened. I was not expecting there to be a ad in the door. I don't want to die yet. I want to try and find this last puzzle piece. Well. Shenanigans, I guess. Guess we reset and then we look all over again. It's not here. I feel like this is where we started. Just kidding. Ready for 5 minutes
Clara
of narration?
Whitcomb was not brought to Ashford screaming. She was found in a room that had already done the screaming for her. The door was locked from the outside. Her wrists were bound with torn bed linen. Her mouth was wrapped shut with the same cloth she used to mend for hospitals. The report said she refused to speak. It did not say that by the time they opened the door, Clara had already learned the cruelest thing a person can learn, that a voice is useless when no one wants to hear it. They did not admit Clara Whitcomb as a woman in need of help. They admitted her as evidence. Her silence was taken as proof. Her fear was taken as resistance. Her stillness was taken as something cold and unnatural. No one asked what had been done to her. No one asked what sort of terror makes a voice retreat so far inside itself that it cannot find the way back. Ashford did not see a survivor. It saw a patient, convenient enough to explain away. Ashford gave Clara a room with no hours in it, no window to measure morning, no clock to prove the night had ended, no voice beyond the door that answered when she knocked. At first, she waited like a person waits. Then she counted footsteps. Then she counted breaths. Then she stopped counting, because numbers only matter when something is allowed to end. The staff called it isolation therapy. Clara called it nothing, because by then, no one had left her enough of a voice to name it. When isolation failed to make Clara obedient, Ashford took the last thing she still possessed: her hands, her balance, her dignity. They called the restraint protective. They said it was for her own safety. But there was nothing merciful in the way they bound her. The jacket was not meant to calm her. It was meant to silence the knocking, to stop her scratching at the walls, to stop her from proving, in even the smallest way, that she was still there. By the end, Clara no longer screamed. Not because she was calm, not because she was cured, because the body can only beg for so long before it begins to understand the answer. No one came for the knocking. No one came for the scratching. No one came when the room went quiet. Ashford recorded her death as the peaceful decline of a disturbed patient, but there was nothing peaceful about being forgotten while still alive. And before Clara disappeared completely, She left the only proof she could. She had been here. Clara Whitcomb did not leave Ashford. Not really. The staff forgot her name. The file was closed. The room was left as it was, sealed behind a door no one wished to open. But some suffering does not pass on simply because the living are finished with it. Clara had been locked away so completely that death found no door to open. So something stayed. Not a ghost looking for revenge, not a monster born from hatred. Something quieter. A body made from every unanswered knock. A face hidden behind every word she was never allowed to say. A silence so deep it learned how to move.
Okay, cool. We kept our pieces. And that sounds like absolutely tragic. Just basically be forgotten. The question is, where is this last puzzle piece at? Is it the book? Wait, do I have... Collectibles collected, 1 of 6. That doesn't seem right. A stained restraint jacket from Ashford's isolation ward, marked inside the collar with the faded name, C. Whitcomb. The canvas has stiffened with age, the leather straps are cracked but still intact, as if the thing was built to outlast the person placed inside of it. Inside the sleeves, faint scratch marks run through the fabric where Claire's fingers must have pressed and dragged for hours. The ward record gives no clear reason for the restraint order, only a note in Dr. Thorne's hand. Continued silence, further isolation recommends. I think I already did the remember on this, right? Yeah, I did. So now we have all this. We still have the glasses, but we need to find the last puzzle piece. I already checked in here. And don't be afraid to tell me that I'm dumb if you saw it earlier when I was walking through everything, but I need to check each one of these. Yeah, tell me in the comments if you saw it earlier. If not, maybe we haven't seen it yet. So far, I will say this game is very well done. It's very cinematic. It's not the scariest game I've ever played. I'm getting myself turned around, but it's, I don't know, it's just good. A little puzzly, a good story. The walkthrough's not too bad. I should start just closing the doors as I do this, so that way I know I've checked the room. Here's what I'm gonna do. So I've checked in here. There's no, like, zoom on the map, which is kind of obnoxious, I must say. I checked the bodies. I'll leave that one open because that's where I spawn. You know, you'd think I would have seen it if it was flashing red. No collision with the door, apparently. Okay, oops. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to go by the elevator and we'll go all the way to the top. Because I have that weird feeling that that is where that was and I missed it. We'll work our way down. Okay, so it's not there. Oh, no. Make sure it's not like hidden on this banister, that would be silly. So we've checked all the way up top. It's not like on some weird angle I can't see here, is it? Oh, I can just walk through the boxes. Weird. No, I'm a ghost. Oh wait, how can I be a ghost and have footsteps? I don't think that works. I'm a crazy ghost and I actually just hear footsteps. Question is, why am I here? And this place has been closed, so who am I? Is I a patient? Am I Clara Whitcomb? I don't think so. The narration voice has all been male, so I'm assuming that it's a male, but I don't really know. That fine wine got me. I thought it was something. Okay. So we've officially checked this floor now. Did I even need to open the doors? Can I just walk through them? I'm just gonna test it here. Okay. So if the door is closed, there's collision, but if it's open, you can walk straight through it. Makes no sense. Other funny thing is, I don't even remember where the safe is. We'll find it again. Trying to be a little bit more thorough so I don't have to do a walkthrough of this whole damn building again. See, look, the map is nonsense. I'd assume it's on a top shelf, but nope. Okay, not in there. I think. Oh, this is a toilet. No possibilities here. Joke's on me, the actual last puzzle piece is just completely hidden. Here's the save. Okay, so let's get a relative point of stairwell, lobotomy room, or whatever observation room. I already checked. Okay, so if I leave where I'm from and then go out there and go up one floor, that is where the safe is. Well, if we don't find it by the time we get to the basement, I'm gonna see if I can pick up that other journal. I know we've checked in here, but... Oh, hey, I found it. Nice! Okay. So what we're actually going to do now So I feel like the safe is going to end the game. Could be completely wrong. Didn't realize that this was on the first floor. Can't walk in it though. Did I close that door? I don't think I did. Oh, I need more patient files, but I... Okay. Completely unnecessary, but I felt it necessary, so. Man, I really wish that elevator would work for me. Wait a second, didn't the safe's on? Well, I guess they consider this floor 1, and then they have like the ground floor. Well, that wasn't there before. Okay, left arrow. So is it 1, 1, 0? Ooh-wee.
Patient card 002. Henry Grossman, male, age 49. Diagnosis: morbid fixation and contradictory thought patterns. Reports describe lectures collapsing into circular reasoning. Behavior marked as abnormal and disruptive. In one lecture, he spoke in fragments. Witnesses noted repeated phrases and chalk spirals across the board. He could not finish a single sentence. He was pulled from his post under court order, papers scattered as orderlies dragged him through the hall. The institute became his final lecture. On admission, he resisted examination. He was restrained for surgical intervention. Prescribed treatment: transorbital lobotomy. The instrument pierced deeper than intended. Hemorrhage followed. Patient did not regain consciousness. Cause of death: intracranial hemorrhage, complication of treatment. No record of burial or family contact. The body was wheeled away. The record closed. Among his effects, 1 pair of spectacles, frame cracked. No claimant identified. They remain lost somewhere in this God-forsaken place.
The journal feels familiar now. I should go collect it. I don't know why the safe code thing is still up there. It's silly. It's alright. Kitty. What did we collect here? Lucian Thorne's journal. A weathered gray journal belonging to Dr. Lucian Thorne, director of Ashford Institute. The pages are filled with precise handwriting, clinical observation, treatment notes, and fragments of philosophy written with absolute certainty. There is no guilt in the entries, no apology, only justification. Near the final pages, the writing grows heavier. I finished the work. Let no one touch it.
They used to call me light. Not in those exact words, of course. Men of medicine prefer cleaner language. Reformer, visionary, pioneer, necessary. But I understood what they meant. I brought order into rooms where families had left only noise. I brought discipline to minds that had become nests of rot. I stood where weaker men turned away and called their cowardice compassion. The mind is a wound. I said that once during a lecture in London, and they applauded because they thought it was poetry. It was not poetry. It was observation. A wound must be closed. Infection must be cut away. A false self must be stripped until something honest remains beneath it. Walter Cray clung to grief until it became his only language. Henry Grossman hid inside intellect long after reason had abandoned him. Edwin Marsh confused hunger with existence. Clara Whitcomb mistook silence for survival. They were not innocent. They were unfinished. Ashford gave me the tools to finish them. The public loved the word reform because it spared them from imagining the work. They wanted miracles without screams, recovery without resistance, clean reports, polished outcomes, a doctor's smile at the end of it all. So I smiled. And beneath the building, where sound could not travel, I did what progress required. Pain revealed them. Isolation emptied them. Electricity burned away the performance. Hunger removed vanity. Fear corrected what tenderness never could. Some died. That is not failure. A body may fail long before the truth is reached. That does not make the method wrong. It only proves the subject was weaker than the sickness that wore their name. Now they whisper in the walls. They scratch their little accusations into plaster and wood, as if suffering grants authority, as if pain, once endured, becomes wisdom. It does not. Pain is a scalpel. I was the hand steady enough to hold it. They call me monster now. They call me murderer. They call me the Moor, because patients give childish names to what they cannot comprehend. Let them. The world has always feared the mouth that tells it the truth. If they come for me, they will not find a begging man. They will not find remorse. Ashford was my work. The records were mine. The patients were mine. I finished the work. Let no one touch it. Dr. Lucian Thorne.
So am I Dr. Lucian Thorne? Or am I just a place that found this place? A place that found this place, a person that found this place. Oh.
You made it this far again. You always do. The door, the hallway, the lie of escape. Every time you reach for the outside, and every time you forget why it will not open for you. Look at the chair, Lucian Thorne. You remember this, not as a patient, not at first. You stood beside it. You wrote the notes. You chose the voltage. You watched their bodies break and called it progress. Walter Cray, Henry Grossman, Edwin Marsh, Clara Whitcomb. Names you turned into symptoms. People you turned into files. Screams you buried under clean language. Called pain a cure. You called silence obedience. You called death failure. But they remember. Every room remembers. Every locked door. Every strap. Every stain beneath the floors. You thought death would save you from judgment. You thought the chair would close the record. But this place was never finished with you. Ashford is not abandoned. Ashford is yours. The ward you built, the hell you earned, the treatment you prescribed for everyone but yourself. Me. Last time you called me, the Maw. Truth is, you are the Maw. We are one and the same. And when the lights go out, Lucy and Thorn, we will take the memory from you again. We will leave just enough fear to make you run. Then you will wake at the beginning. You will walk the halls. You will find the files. You will hear them scream. And you will remember again and again and again. Forever.
The Ashford Institute for the Mentally Afflicted forced to close. Dr. Lucian Thorne, chief psychiatric reformer and director of Ashford, was found dead in the institute's lower treatment chamber. Sources later claimed that a secret investigation had already begun inside Ashford. Patient records, staff testimony, and missing death reports were said to implicate Thorne in unauthorized procedures, false diagnoses, and the death of multiple patients. When Thorne learned the investigation was closing in, he refused arrest, trial, or public disgrace. Instead, he entered the treatment chamber alone. He died in the electric chair. When the findings became public, outrage spread quickly. The Ashford Institute was condemned, closed, and left to rot behind locked gates. Some say Lucian Thorne never left. Some say he still walks the halls, searching for his next patient. Others say evil like his does not wander. It is punished forever. Hey! All right, that was really good. Probably like a 2 out of 10 on the scares, but the actual story itself was 8 or 9 out of 10. It was amazing. I thought it was a great playthrough, great walkthrough. The game was absolutely beautiful. Not much replay value, but I thought it was a great time, and I think that's it. I don't know why it says wishlist now. I believe that was the whole game. It did just release today, so I just want to say thank you for watching. This was Vespryx with my first horror game, and if you like the playthrough and want to see more of this, leave a comment below. That helps with the YouTube algorithm, and if you really enjoyed it and want to see more from me, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, and until next time.